Hi,
Hey
I'm
there.
Evan,
I'm Mark.
and today we interrupt each other.
We do interrupt each other,
Fix Mark's memory.
and sometimes we talk over each other.
Now he's just doing it for effect.
We talk about distractions. We talk about what keeps you from doing the things that you need to do to start. And Evan gets a little bit upset that I call him out on a story from 6 months ago that in fact has the most poignant ending ever.
And Louie, we talk about you today.
Oh yeah, Louis, look out. Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast, season 3.
Oh,
Where
is this
we-
the first episode, or did we do the first episode?
No, we did the first episode on
Okay.
Sunday, just a few days ago. How
Great.
bad is your memory?
Dude, today is nuts. It's the best.
Oh my goodness, it is. It's crazy. It's crazy out there.
I've
You
got
haven't.
11 different interviews and shows that I'm doing today.
Yeah.
And maybe 80% of the time, like one person, there's some tech issues or forgot, or like we got the wrong link, and I have a little break. But
Speaking of tech issues, I need to take you with me because I forgot
got
to
no
plug it. I forgot to plug in my computer a little while ago.
Yep, there
How
it is.
How did you guess that? Because you saw me looking around.
Didn't guess, Mark. I felt it. I knew it.
You felt it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, season 3 of the Something to Prove podcast. Last episode was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun listening back to it. But one criticism you had for me is you thought that it took me too long to get to the point.
Okay, great.
So let's jump into real quick catching up, which you were doing, and then we're going to get straight to the topic.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hedge. I don't want to meander. I want to keep
All right.
Evan.
Here we
I want to
go.
keep Evan engaged. So, have you noticed that it seems, maybe you don't because you've been in your little bubble, but
Yeah.
apparently the world is coming to an end, and people are really starting, really starting to whip up a whole bunch of anxiety about the coronavirus.
Oh, we're talking coronavirus today. Okay, great.
No, we're not. We're not.
we're
It's
not.
just it's just if we're catching up about stuff. Actually, you know what? Maybe we will be talking about it, but that's a hedge. Like
Jesus.
you don't know what's happening, do you?
NBA canceled their season.
Yeah.
South by is gone. Italy is shut down, like 16 million people in quarantine. I don't
Yeah.
know. What else am I missing?
NHL canceled.
NHL canceled? I didn't hear the NHL. I knew NBA.
Yeah, Major League Baseball has been canceled. Tennis has been canceled.
What baseball?
Trump
There's no
put a
baseball
travel-
happening.
They've halted the season. It's not starting.
Baseball doesn't start till, I guess it's coming up. Okay.
Yeah, the Orange League, is that what they call it? What do they call it?
Oh, the
Grapefruit
Florida
League?
leagues and the Phoenix leagues. Okay.
Yep. People are travel bans are happening. Listen, I booked a few weeks ago my wife and I's anniversary trip.
Ooh. How about our trip? We're going before that to Boise.
I turned to my team member and I said, I don't know if we're going to this event in Boise, but I booked my stuff all out. No. I booked, my business class tickets. We booked our resort. It's all final. There's no cancellation fees. All right. There's no none of that stuff.
Yeah, you're fine.
So,
Jesus.
well, this morning I very quickly bought trip cancellation insurance.
Wow. Okay.
So
Boise is apparently still on. So I wrote to them. I'm not super concerned about it, but
I'm not concerned because the more research I do, the more I realize that myself and my kids, my wife won't be that greatly affected. But if you're over 60 years old, you could be very, very, very sick.
yeah, 50 starts at 50.
The older that you are, it goes from, like if you're 60, it's like a 3 or 4% mortality rate. If you're 70, it's like an 8 to 10. If you're over 80, it starts to get very
Scary. Yeah.
serious.
Depends how healthy
But-
you are.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about distractions. This season 3, we're talking about the things that hold us back.
You led with this. You led with a distraction.
I know.
Great.
I know. That's why the season 3 is all about the reasons we don't start things. And so
You started off talking about how we wanted to be tight and focused and
I
get
am
right
tight
to
and
the point.
focused.
And then we just went on this giant distraction of coronavirus. Okay, keep going.
Yes, you see that, but you see that. So I've been carrying around this anxiety like for the last few days because one, we had a really big project that was kind of going sideways and we had to really, really step up to save it. And so I'm like, oh, there's a layer of anxiety. 2, I'm falling behind on the new brand and I have a deadline and the team is on me to make that happen. So I'm carrying that around. 3, we have a bunch of pitches that I'm working on that, it's just like, oh, I gotta be able to crush these pitches. I gotta do great work. Evan, I'm constantly checking what's happening with your campaign because I want
Oh,
things
that's the most important one. Okay.
Coronavirus is happening. We're talking about closing our office and making everyone work from home. Like just tons of distractions that do not allow me to focus on the things that matter most. And that's before we even hit. That's
so
before
much in there.
What's that?
Keep going.
Well, that's before we even hit all the new things I want to do. Where you want to launch a new brand, but then you get caught up in like picking a color and you wait all of this time to pick the perfect color, or you decide that you want to pivot your business or start a business, but you get super caught up in like, what's the name going to be, and like, what's the URL? Like, oh, we get all of these distractions keep us from the really important things.
No. Those are not distractions that are keeping you. You're keeping you. Don't blame the distractions. Blame yourself.
Believe.
Okay, first off, I realized in the past 2 weeks how much of a drama queen you could be about stuff. And that needs to be, yeah. Because when you message me about your business and, you said maybe you took the eye off the ball on sales for a little bit and it was catching up to you and we're effed and all this stuff. And then the next day, big client comes in.
That came out of nowhere.
Whatever. And then Mark freaks out. Man, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't help you with your thing. Big explosion happened. Like, okay, no worries. Get your thing. And then you know what? The next day, it's all taken care of. Like, Mark, how's that fire that you put? Oh, yeah. We did some work and we did it. It's like, come on. These are the big things that are terrifying your life for within 24 hours, suddenly it's all fixed and it's all taken care of. It's like,
Here's the thing. When you have anxiety, I have anxiety. When you have anxiety,
I have anxiety too.
Okay. Fine. So then you'll understand.
You need to start playing a bigger game.
If I know someone else is worried about it as I am or more, if I know someone is working harder on it than I could even work on it, and if I know someone cares more than I care, I can let go. So it's not that we're out of the woods with the client. It's that we were so on the line that everyone else realized how on the line we were, and they all stepped up.
Yes, great. But the difference is you in your head take it to, yes, of course you have to get the work done. If I let you down on something, I would be mortified and I would cancel my stuff to go make it up to and all. But you take it to a level in your head where life is over.
Yes.
The world it's not crumbling. What's missing is your ability and confidence in yourself to say, I'm going to crush this thing.
Yeah, no, I know. So I know.
Great. Okay,
I know it's a problem. Fix it. This is one of these core innate things.
No. It's not. Nope. The belief in it being a core innate thing is the problem. The blaming the distraction instead of blaming yourself is the problem.
This is one of those things that I don't know how to fix. I'm aware of this simmering, even right now, I'm aware all day of this simmering anxiety. And so I've taken steps to for the last year and a half, not watch the news, but right now I'm getting bombarded with it. I spent all of this money on this trip that I'm super excited about. And the thought of losing, the thought of it getting not being able to go because the Canadian government puts a travel ban on me and I lose all of that money. So I went out and bought travel insurance and spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on travel insurance, but now I feel a little bit better. And all of those things. I don't know. You say focus on the macro. I have been because you know what? When everything was, at risk earlier in the week with the client, I still sat down with the team and I said, we'll get through if these things, don't work out. But we still need to step up and make them work out.
Everything was not at risk with the client.
Not everything my life is over and we're shutting down the company and all of that stuff.
Even the whole deal with the client was not at risk. Not at risk
the client texted me and said it was. So
yeah, but the confidence and faith in yourself that I'm going to make this right and there's no way they're going to leave. And so we're going to use that energy towards making it right with the client. And then next day, look what happened. I'm worried for Mark. Mark delayed my stuff to work with the client and totally fine. And I messaged him the next morning, like, hey, how are the fires or whatever.
Yeah. But I didn't get to it until
you didn't get to it
afternoon.
until later in the day. And it's like, oh yeah, we figured it out. Like the energy and worry level that you had, it's like that needed to be cataclysmic level. And it wasn't.
But dude, you have this. There are times, when you do this, when you feel you've disappointed someone, you won't sleep. You'll email them in the middle of the night. You care more than they care about it.
Yes.
So it's not like you don't understand. You're taking this thing.
Yes. But what are you missing?
Blowing it up massive.
What are you missing?
That you're doing it out of love and I'm doing it out of fear? What?
No.
What?
Maybe.
I'm just going to jump straight ahead to what Ego Evan would say.
Wow, Mark. Wow.
What? What am I missing?
What am I missing? Help me. In that this is not going to sink my company and it's going to be this giant thing. It might be all encompassing for my time to say I need to make it up to Mark, but it's the one belief that I can make it up to Mark with the effort, and that this thing is not going to be so critical to my success going forward.
So this is something that Louis wants me to crush, and I don't know how to. But here's honestly,
you already are.
Well, but here's honestly how I feel about things, and I've said this to him, and he hates it when I say this. I believe that. So some principles for running a business in sales, right? You've talked about it. Be a chief goal officer. Drive insane amounts of value. Do your clients' worrying for them, right? Make it simple for them. Make it easy for them. That's all groundwork approach. Here are the things where Louis doesn't agree, but this is the way I approach it. I believe that you're walking through a landmine and you take a step forward and you're like, okay, good. We didn't upset the client. We didn't make a mistake. We didn't drop the ball. Fantastic. But all you gained was an inch. And then you have to take the next step and you're like, and any step along the way could be the thing that erodes their confidence in you, their belief in you. And sure, the longer you spend with someone, the more goodwill you build. Of course, you can draw it on the bank. If I'm working with you, Evan, and you're like, Mark, this isn't good enough, then at least you're going to give me a chance to try and fix it. You're not just going to fire me or stop being my friend right away. But in a service-based business, in sales, when you're working with people and you care, a few of these steps of mistakes can take you from having a long-term trusted relationship to them questioning the very capabilities of the company. And we had a few of these steps where I'm making promises and saying, don't worry, we've got this and we're going to make it happen for you. And then it's not quite there. And I say, don't worry, we're going to save it. And then it's not quite there. And by the third or fourth time, and the client's saying, Mark, man, like you guys need to fix this. Like fix it now. I'm worried for you. That's when it starts to become really, really serious. I think you're at any moment you can do something that will have people question your capabilities, your sensibilities, and whether they trust you or not. And so I'm always on edge. I'm always on edge. I have something to prove, all of that stuff. That's the way I look at this.
Okay. But you didn't lose them. So you're wrong.
This time.
Okay. So let's go through your client list. How many did you lose because of this
week?
No. Let's look at 10 years of Fanta history, or however long you've been around.
Yeah, we've lost clients, of course.
Of course you've lost clients, but what you're doing, like they think you suck. You stepped on landmines everywhere. You crapped the bed hard, and you left them with a really nasty taste in their mouth. When was the last time you did that?
Well, I was meeting with the same client today for a pitch we're going to give them next week, and that's going to be the first indicator whether the senior people
that's
will
not the
continue
question.
to trust us or not.
Answer the question.
No.
When was the last time? What?
When was the last time that we upset someone so much that they left?
And they left with a bad taste in their mouth. Fanta's garbage.
I'm sure it happens 2 or 3 times a year, and we don't get the chance to hear about it.
So follow up.
Yeah. You're giving me tactics, but
no, you're just living in the micro.
Sometimes I do.
this whole thing. Like you could fix anything. Like Jeremy was doing his YouTube consulting business. He had one client who, how he works is he's got he hits on one call with them, gives them lots of free value, usually comes up with 3 big ideas for them. If they say yes, then he puts them on a monthly retainer and then hops on calls with them. He had one woman who went through the process. He brought on, she's paying, I forget whatever it was a month, hiring him, but she's not responding to emails. He's following up and they can't get their time. He's giving them advice on what they do in their channel and she's just not responsive and her team wasn't responsive. And by the 3rd month, so now she had been billed 3 times and she was only on the 1st month. And then he's like in a panic, like, oh my God, we're letting these people down. She then writes back after the 3rd month and like freaks out, copies me. I can't believe you are such a ripoff artist. You are making these videos and promoting entrepreneurship and you just scam people and like nasty. I've never even talked to her before, right? Jeremy's managing the whole relationship. Jeremy then like is like super worried, freaking out, like, oh my God, I let you down. Now they're coming after you and think that your reputation is bad. My reputation is bad. She's now going to spread the message that we suck to all of her friends. And like, I'm so sorry I let you down. Like he's worried about my reputation. Like, dude, Jeremy, this is totally fixable. Like, this is nothing. This is nothing. He's like, what? Did you read the email? Did you see she copied you? You see all the nasty things she said? Like, dude, this is 1,000% fixable. And we fixed it.
So what did you do?
I messaged her to say, hey, I apologize. We were trying to reach out. I know Jeremy sent a bunch of messages. Maybe they went to your spam or we couldn't reach you. What we're going to do is give you a full refund, not just for the 2 calls that you missed, but even for the first one. Because we always follow through on the things we're going to say. And I see you have a book out. I'd love to have you on my show and help promote the book if you ever want to come on and talk about it. She writes back and she's like threatening lawsuits and like copied her lawyer in on the email to us too. Like it's just full on going crazy. And then she writes back. It's like, thank you so much for the speedy reply. I've been burned in the past by other people. And so now I just default to lawyering up.
Wow.
So I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, maybe we can in the new year talk about creating the content for the book. So I write back, hey, no problem. Happy to help. And let me know when you're ready to go and we can do it. Right? It's like, it's always fixable. From nuclear, I'm going to sue you. Here's my lawyer copied in on the email because you ripped me off for 2 months.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Isn't that a huge distraction?
But so fires happen all the time in business.
Yes.
The emotion of like, this is over. She's going to talk to everybody. I'm going to lose my entire company prevents you from just doing the thing that you need to get done.
And I don't do that as much as I used to.
So that when you said, how do I fix it? I said, you already are.
Perfect. This is the episode of Mark already doing what he needs to do. So what are we talking about today? No, like the distraction is how do you, let's put aside. So the reason why I texted you about the finances and all that stuff is because we're still in trouble. I'm just not talking to you about it. Like we're working through some things, we're lining up some things, we're making some things happen. So we're big picture, we're actually not. Like on the macro, like if I look at a 3 or 5 year window, we're better than ever. It's like on the 2 month that you run into trouble sometimes. When I was talking to you about the client, I was mostly sharing that with you to say like, hey man, I told you I would do this for you tomorrow morning. I need more time. And it's a very important reason why.
Great.
That was it. I was providing you some context.
You want to go look at the Facebook messages?
We can. All I said was, yeah, I mean, we don't have to, but anyway, all I said was all of this stuff
came up a couple times.
Yeah.
Great. That's not, so there's Mark doesn't swear a lot, so there's hyper emotion.
Are you not cool just taking me as I am sometimes, or no?
No, because you're not cool taking you as you are.
Classic Evan.
That's what it is.
Wow.
Otherwise this topic wouldn't be talking about how to overcome it. Yes, Mark, great. You know what, Mark? You're right. There's lots of distractions.
I love hearing that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. There's lots of distractions.
And
you might as well just let them slow you down.
It's not your fault. Blame the distractions.
I do.
And stay where you are. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel so much better.
Yeah, but you don't.
You've just validated that I'm right, that the distractions in the world are to blame, and that growing is really uncomfortable, and I'll feel much happier just being stagnant and staying here.
I didn't say you'd be much happier. Yeah, just stay there. Season 2 was 2 episodes. Season 3 was 2 episodes, guys. That's it.
Hey! I actually do feel better having heard you just say those words.
No, we're not promoting mediocrity.
We're not promoting mediocrity.
Of course you feel better because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Mark's not in the comfortable business.
No, but my physicality, like my body literally has reacted to
of course it is because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
But Mark's not in the comfortable business.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
No, this is a little experiment we've just done of me having anxiety and everything and feeling this way. And you saying that as a joke and me knowing it's sarcastic, and yet still my body's reacting like, okay, cool. You can let go. It's good.
That's how much work has to get done.
There you go. I want our listeners to try that somehow. Fun little experiment. So I know that you leverage your schedule a lot. I also know that when you're super busy on a project, you let me break your schedule all the time, because you used to be like really clockwork with your schedule. But now if I message you stuff, or I want to ask you about emails or this or that, you break your schedule for me if I'm working on your stuff. How do you balance the passion projects, the things you're excited about that are giant distractions from the macro for you, with the distractions that you have to deal with that are stupid and you know that they're killing you from stuff, and also doing those big picture things? Because sometimes, sometimes you spending a few days turning your office into the environment you want it to be is a distraction from writing a book or launching a book or reviewing a contract or other things. How do you balance all of those things?
So with scheduling stuff, you asked me for something today. Like I'm in wall-to-wall calls. I'm not going to be able to look at it till tonight. And maybe
the thing I was asking you for was a Wednesday thing. It's Thursday. I know on Wednesday you work on these projects. If I was a better friend, we would have asked you this on Tuesday, so you could have worked on it Wednesday, but instead I'm now making you work a Thursday night on it.
I have to send out the email tomorrow anyway that's going to have it, so I have to do it regardless, right? We're in launch mode. It's important. But I'm willing to either update it myself at night. Like when you're up against the wall, what do? I'll do it myself, or be willing to have it be late. Like, we're going to make some mistakes. We've already made some mistakes. Thankfully, not anything gigantic, I don't think. But if I launch an email and the landing page doesn't quite match up yet, it's okay. We'll be fine. Right? So, it sounds like everything's going to be okay and we're going to make it fit. But otherwise, I'm not canceling my call, whoever's after this or whoever's before, to do it, because this is important to me. For other projects, I just don't judge myself I think it's the best use of my time. Like when I get an idea to go fix my office and not do something else, as long as the intent, I guess it's like, I'm not doing it just to avoid doing XYZ. I genuinely want to go off and do this thing. And because I thought of it, it's great and it must happen. And that's how I tell myself. I don't look back to say, I wish I spent those 2 hours doing something else. It's just useless thinking, at least for me. So, like, you're launching your personal brand, great, put it up. You're launching new horses, awesome. Where's the logo? Put it up. It's gonna suck, and then just keep tweaking it and getting better. Yeah, but how long are you working on the horses for? Weeks. Put it up. Where are the horses? Mark's changing his logo. Where are the horses?
Wild horses.
It's been how long?
The logo? Oh gosh.
See, already it's too long.
No, I know. I think we started the horse thing in January.
It's March 12th recording this.
Yeah, I know, because we didn't focus on it for 6 weeks.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you have something, put it up.
Yeah. The new HubSpot site is going to be up by the end of the month.
Great. Whatever. Without HubSpot, put it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it. Mm-hmm. And then I don't judge myself for spending time on something I want to spend time on.
The more time we spend together, everything always comes back to the same things. The harder it is for me to ask you questions for this podcast, to explore different routes to always get back to the same answer.
Okay. Which is just do it.
Yes.
Great.
Can I tell you? I'm sure I can. Okay, go ahead.
Quickly, for balancing distractions, like, it's also telling people, like, the book launch is really important. So I'm paying attention to emails or you're messaging me on Facebook. I auto assume when somebody's messaging me on Facebook, then it's going to be really important. Most of the stuff that you would ask me on Facebook is super quick and I can give a response to. This one isn't. Like, this one, I can't just tell you what I need to do. So even in my day, I've got 11 interviews. I got a 5-minute break in between. So 5-minute break, instead of going to the washroom, I'm answering Mark's Facebook message, right? That's how I still do emails, and it's how I still do my IGDMs and all these little micro breaks. So I'm not, most of the time, cutting into something that I should be doing. And if I am, it's because I actually prioritize that thing. But other people, or even Mark, like, if he asks me something that I can't do, I'll just tell him I can't do it. If Nina brings up something to me that, like, there are a couple email threads that are going on around the book and the logistics of getting the book out with not my publisher, my warehouse. I'm like, take me off these emails. It's not taking a lot of time, but it's like 4 extra emails in my inbox. You don't need me for this.
It's a distraction.
I don't need to be updated on what's happening. You're crushing it. You have a question? Let me know. Awesome. Otherwise, and same thing for anybody who does an interview with me. They might come to me and say, hey, Evan, I'd love to have you on my podcast. We've had all these people on. Do you want to come on? I make a judgment call. If I say yes, I give it to Sandra, my assistant, to book. And then she knows, take me off that whole email thread, because it's going to go back 8 times about, how about this time or here? Great. I don't need any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's setting those rules and boundaries too, so that the stuff that's coming to you is higher priority. I mean, I could still do it on an even higher level, which I should be doing. But not letting, like, the thing I always tell Nina that she hates is, you'll figure it out. She hates it. But it's like, you'll figure it out. This is not something that I need to look at. You'll figure it out.
I love how you say that to her. And I could totally imagine her hating it, especially since you already know how to do it and you can answer it and tell her how to do it very quickly.
Or not, though. Or not. Like, we're doing my visa stuff. I'm applying for a visa because I need to get into the US to get paid to speak and whatever, right? I don't know how to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I also don't need to be in every bit of the process. Like, we had a lawyer. The lawyer's doing this. Next step is to, okay, great. You'll figure it out. Let me know what I need to sign. Or if you need feedback, like, do I actually need to be on this to make a decision? Yes? Awesome. I'm here. I don't need updates. You'll figure it out.
I wanted to leave that nice gap so that way you can wrap that up for that nice chunk of content.
All right. So
I just wanted to follow up real quick. This has nothing to do with the topic, but I loved it so much and it comes from you. So, you know, Fanta, right? Pattern.
Something like that.
Fanta, pattern high achievement.
I like how you looked it over. You have to look over it. Okay.
Yeah. It's
for nasty tailored acceleration. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, I only think of it as the PHA and the NTA. I don't think of it like anymore in the words. So every time that I have to think of like pattern, is it pattern profile? Like, but anyway,
pattern. So high achievement.
Yes.
Okay.
For nasty tailored acceleration. So,
yeah.
I
love how much the companies now embrace the nasty. The nasty. Wait, do we have that on camera about how No, we don't. That's so bad.
The sun was rising at 6 a.m.
You, and to your credit, you wanted to record it, and I said no. Should we be recording this? Because it was after the really harsh episode.
Yes.
But then people didn't see the outside. But then how much Mark hated the nasty, and Louis hated the nasty, and now it's
Louis
nasty is the whole thing.
Nasty's just not a great word. It's like moist. It's like just has
hold
such
on.
a negative.
Louis did not love it when you first presented it to him.
He was pretty on board with the word. Yeah.
No, 0.
Okay, well, he came around very quickly then.
Because I talked to him and told him what it actually meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So,
do I have to find the Facebook conversation?
No, you don't. But here's the thing. So we're interviewing for a new role at Fanta for PM, and I'm sitting across from someone, and I'm thinking like, are they really up to be like to be able to pull this off? Because this is a new framework for us. It's something that I do intuitively, but I realized halfway through the conversation, it's like, I should be finding out if these people are up for what we do, right? So patterning high achievement is basically being able to look at those who've done it before and have done it really well, and be able to deconstruct or look for the things that they did to achieve that success. Tony Robbins talks about it a lot. If you want to be a millionaire, go hang out with millionaires. Find out how they become millionaires. You want to become a pro athlete? Hang out with pro athletes, study how pro athletes did it. But what Evan really unlocked for me is it's not just about studying what they did, it's then figuring out what works for you. How do you tailor that to your strengths, to your gifts, to the way you think, the way you process information, your comfort zones-ish.
But in a nasty way. Like, it's so amazing.
So that's the thing.
It's so on point. It's like, what? It was just given to me. Yes. Nasty tail acceleration.
So the way I explain it is like, you take the PHA, right? You take the patterning high achievement, and then you have to tailor it to the person so they could go really fast. But the faster you go, the more mistakes you're going to make. It's not going to be clean, right? People talk about, hey, how, we're going to let you in on how the sausage is made. Yeah. Well, behind the scenes, things are messy. They're scrambled. They're all over the place. And then you show this shiny thing to the client. No, if you want to be fast, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to trip along the way. It's going to be a little bit messy. That's what going fast and tailoring for your clients is about. Anyway, so I'm explaining this to someone, and I realize I asked this question. I go,
okay, I need to read the Facebook chat. This is great.
Okay, go ahead.
Mark
you have to clear your throat.
Louis doesn't like nasty. This is from Mark. Every time you push me, it gives him anxiety. Okay. I wrote, Jesus, Louis is fine and he loves nasty. He doesn't unless he's told you otherwise. Louis just doesn't understand it, but he loves it. Mark 2022 is shaking his head at you right now. Okay, and then we skipped a little bit. I said something about Fanta gets the nasty big projects because nobody has done them quite like it before. Mark says, OMG, stop saying nasty. This is great. Nasty is right. You're just not ready. It's fine. You'll get it. So we said, but framework. So we left it to the framework instead of letting it actually sit around nasty. Okay. Then I write, it's so funny. You and Louis think Louis is not on board with nasty. He's basically the definition of nasty. And then later, and that was it. That was it for that, I think. And then
if anyone's wondering what it's like to hang out and talk with Evan, be Evan's friend and all this stuff, these are the types of conversations we have.
But that was it. Listen, I remembered that you told Louis about it and he was not on board. Like, he just doesn't get it. He is the definition of nasty.
So I must have filtered it and biased him against it, because he would have loved it right away had you explained it to him.
I 100%.
Yes. Well, anyway, we're all on board.
But the good news is it's not Mark 2022 anymore. It's just Mark
2020.
February instead of Mark January. Like, that's growth.
Dude, it's only took me three weeks to come around on it. So I realized that, like, hey, how am I going to find out if people are up for this? So I just asked them the simple question. I said, hey, timelines are like really, really important because it's a commitment that you're making. But you can't look stupid and you can't really make mistakes, right? What would you rather do? Would you rather be late on something and make sure that no mistakes are going out? Or would you rather do it on time or ahead of schedule and have mistakes go out and try and explain? And the person I was talking to was adamant that it's always better to delay things and make sure it looks good, because quality is the only thing that matters. And right away I was like, I was thinking, gosh, wrong answer. So, yeah,
is this a sales call? This is a potential client?
No. This was someone interviewing
member?
for a role.
No, this
someone
is
interviewing for a role.
What was okay when we went to Tony Robbins and we arrived separately, right? Yeah, we arrived separately.
Yes, but we came and met you as you got off your plane.
Okay, great. And do you remember the conversation in the car?
That Louis, that we don't need standard operating procedures, that Louis's heart is all of the operating procedures we require.
So Mark and Louis spent, I don't know, 3-hour flight, whatever it is.
Why are you going back all the way to July? That's
there must be no point to this story.
Well, but here's the thing, Evan. That's like a dead version of me. I'm already 4 generations past that version.
Thank you for not trusting the process and interrupting, because it's all going to make sense, Mark.
Go.
Christ. They spend 3 hours on the airplane or whatever it is. And they land and we're in the Uber driving to the driving to a hotel. And they're so excited because they just came up with their standard operating procedure for hiring people. Like, this is how we are going to hire people.
I don't even remember that.
You were so pumped and so jazzed in the Uber. We figured it out. We had this amazing conversation on the plane for our standard operating procedures for hiring people. And I said, that is garbage. This is how Mark Drager thinks. The only standard operating procedure you need is Louis's heart. Louis's heart is the SOP. And forcing Louis into the box of answer these 18 questions is slowing down the growth of Fanta. Great, Mark. So now, that was June whenever. Tell me why that's relevant to what you just said.
Well, I will share with you, because you may not know, that Louis does all of our hiring now. He sent me for these roles. He sent me the people stuff in advance. And I said, I don't even want to look at them. I don't want to be a part of their interviews with them, because I'm going to bias you against the people who you think are right. So only bring me the people who you love.
Great. So
I removed
rudely
myself.
Interrupted and lambasted me for bringing up
Evan,
an unrelated point.
No one that you interview with the 11 interviews today will be bold enough to hassle you as much as I do.
Nobody will annoy me as much, for sure.
And that is what gives us great content.
Great.
I get to poke Evan.
So finish the thought. You interrupted me.
Yes. Finish the thought.
And lambasted me. So now tell me.
I asked the wrong question.
Because how did you start that whole scenario?
That I was thinking about the framework, and I wanted to find out whether people were nasty enough. And so I asked them a question. But Louis knows in his heart whether they're nasty enough. So I don't even need to ask the question.
There you go.
There you go. See, I can figure this stuff out.
Apology accepted.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Exactly. That on. Interrupted for bringing up, because of course we're going to go talk about something that's not going to help you at all. You're welcome. Yes.
I love this so much.
You don't need to figure it out. That's why you have Louis.
I was so proud of myself, though, because Louis sent me these people's names, and he's like, Mark, I just want to run them by you. And I started to read halfway through the first person, and I went, dude, hold on. And I closed the document. I said, no. I can't be in this process. I'm going to destroy your hiring process. So I told him to go interview everyone again without me. And then I would just be part of the final conversation if he wanted me to be. But he definitely hires better team members when I'm not a part of it.
His heart is the SOP. His heart will tell you if they're nasty or not. You don't need to ask a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't need to spend your time on the distraction of trying to figure out.
Of trying to.
What question should I ask if they're nasty or not? You don't need to know that. Louis, figure it out. This is why you're here. You're better than me at this.
Yes.
You'll figure it out. Right?
Yes,
you'll figure it out. Answer. Louis, you'll figure it out.
I love that answer.
You'll figure it out, Louis. You'll figure it. Don't bring me this stuff. You're better than me at this. You're going to figure it out. I have other stuff to do, like launch my brand that's been sitting since January with these horses.
Mm-hmm. He did come into my office yesterday afternoon and said, Mark, I noticed in your calendar that you're doing this stuff for Evan. Is that really that important, or can you instead focus on this new website?
Louis, if you're listening, I'm
and I said,
right now.
I said,
Louis, I can't believe, Louis, when I look at my Monday calendar and I see half an hour plus sometimes dedicated to helping Louis, I'm going to heavily scrutinize that one the next time.
No, here's what I said. I was supposed to do it this morning. I already asked for more time. I moved it this afternoon. And he went, oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay.
Louis, that it was even a thought hurts, my guy. I know he's listening. It hurts. It's like a little stab to the heart, Louis. But that was the question that came in. We're shedding a little tiny tear.
He just wants me to focus. Everybody wants me to focus more. And if I can figure out how to focus more and not get so distracted, I feel like I could do better on Instagram and YouTube and videos and speaking and launch the brand and sales.
Yep.
And all of that stuff.
Yep.
You know, it's scary this week because when things, I think
you do scary things.
I know, but the reason why
okay. Yep.
The reason why last week, when I was talking to you about some of the stuff with the company, it's because there was an uncertainty. Like we're doing a lot of changes and I want to be able to make confident investments, essentially. Company is fine where it is, but I want to make some really quick investments and I want to make some really quick moves and build momentum really quick. And that's outside of my comfort zone. And I want to do it with a certain level of confidence. And so that all felt at risk. And then earlier this week with the client, it just reminded me that we've made so many gains and the team is so strong. But it kind of pulled me back to like the uncomfortable zone of where I was a few years ago. And it just felt like maybe we aren't as good as we thought. Maybe we haven't progressed as much as I think we have. But in both situations, as you mentioned, they were fixed really, really, really quickly. They didn't drag out for months. They didn't drag out for years. As you said, like the next day, on both cases, the next day,
really ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that thing I was freaking out about doesn't matter anymore. So
hold on.
I'm closing the window, right?
Great. That's listen. I'll pat yourself on the back for that. But what's the mistake in the thinking of what you just said?
That I didn't trust that future Mark has it.
You didn't say that.
No.
No, the fact that you said that it brought me back to the place I was a few years ago.
Yeah.
This feeling isn't what you were a few years ago. It's what's always going to keep happening.
Great. I love it. Thank you.
No, but you should love it. Because you're looking at
being mediocre, though, right? The opposite of extraordinary mediocrity.
But that's, of course,
and if you're pushing, slapped in the face and being reminded of how mediocre I am.
Yes, it's going to keep happening for the rest of your life. This is a constant in business because you're interpreting it as I'm going backwards. I'm back to where I was 3 years ago or whatever, when I felt this way. No. This is a constant that's going to keep happening in business if you're growing and pushing the boundaries. You 3 years ago is nowhere close to who you are right now, even when you're facing that same issue.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I just need to, so Tony Robbins is a very strong personality. He talks about the fact he's really driven by a lot of anger, right? Like he can get angry. Things can really upset him. He does those eyes, when he's live and he's just like, and he's like talking about how angry he is at people for saying things or doing things or whatever it is. And so he talks about, he gives himself 60 seconds, right? I think it's 60, 30 seconds. He gives himself a minute where he's like, I'm going to feel these feelings and then I got to move on.
Okay.
You talked about yourself when you came back and Nina messed up your take when you were doing an amazing video and you slammed her phone down and then you slammed the door. And I was like, wow, you did that to Nina back in, I guess, July or August. And you're like, 60 seconds. I'm going to give myself 60 seconds and then I'm going to return to my beautiful state. I have to figure out how to shrink down how long I will give myself to kind of be worried about something before I go, this is nothing to worry about.
Yes, but that's a different issue than what you were talking about.
Is it?
Yes.
It feels like it's the same issue.
No, because what you're not seeing is the growth in the human between 3 years ago and today. You're feeling the same way that you're feeling in that we do mediocre work and we're failure and we're letting people down and we're disappointment and we're not extraordinary and we're not, right? And you're thinking you're back to who you were 3 years ago. You're not. You're way better. You're not the same person. You're not the same company. Your company now is way better than the company you were 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. But these issues of feeling mediocre and wanting to be extraordinary and potentially, that is something you will battle your entire life because you dare to live an extraordinary life.
But I don't want to. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that. Jacqueline's one word is strong. She hates being put in a position where she feels weak. You know, I'm sure you hate the uncomfortable, icky feeling of just realizing that you just don't believe enough in yourself or others.
And that's what you fight forever. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you're back to where you were 3 years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't in my head, even I didn't feel in any way like I'm back to where I was 3 years ago. I felt the way that I felt 3 years ago. Great. It brought me back, not to me thinking somehow that we were back there. Just it was the first time in months, in months, because I've had lots of other hard times. But in September, when I was at Boston and you pushed me, it wasn't that feeling. It was the feeling of being tired of having to do all of everybody's worrying for them. And I don't think I'm strong enough, and I don't think I have it, and I'm just ready to give up. I've had all of these other challenges along the way, but this was the first time where it's like just drawing me back to like, you know, that feeling of not being good enough, of being mediocre and what have you.
That's the problem. If you want to be extraordinary,
yes,
and it's only once every 3 years that you feel not good enough, then you're not growing fast enough. No, like don't.
I hear what you're saying. Like
you're looking back 3 years and saying that time sucked. And this time sucked, and it felt the same, and I don't want to feel that way anymore.
Yes.
What I'm saying is you need to feel that way even
all
more
the time.
Not all the time, but like it's that constant drive to get better. Don't wish for it to go away. You're just climbing more mountains. This is the next mountain to climb. You need to have that as a constant in the life, which pushes you to get better. You can't get strong without being in situations where you feel weak.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to clip that for Jacqueline. You hear that, Jack?
She's going to watch the whole episode?
No, but she does watch the parts where we talk about her if I tell her about it.
No, you tell her to watch it, but then she watches the whole thing.
Yes.
Can I share a quick win I think you're going to like? It's unrelated, but.
Yes, please do.
I've started a new series where I play League of Legends 3 times a night because I'm trying to get better. And then I do, my coach Manko is telling me this, and I do an IG Live now with people. So we do 3 games, 3 IG Lives. Each one is like 30 to 40 minutes, depending on what happens. I think our shortest is like 25, the longest is 45 or something.
6:30 Eastern time, right?
Yeah, 6:30 to like 8:30-ish.
Eastern time, and you can follow along on Twitch if you wanted to. You can follow
I might even cut the Twitch. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But anyway, so the Monday was Mark, and he can only join for 2 because he's got to feed the kids or whatever.
Hey,
Alex,
just so you know, for podcast listeners, if you've listened to the recently released audio from it, the Q&A audio from it, you would have had a chance to hear it. But I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. You look at the thumbnails and Mark's like smiling, happy. So Mark's on Monday. Alex is on Tuesday. Yes. Jeremy from my team is on Wednesday. Today's Thursday. So Marion is on Thursday. I don't have a Friday. Friday, we'll see what happens.
You can't because I'm coming to your house for dinner.
Right. I think I might have to get like a California co-host because 6:30 can be rough on Fridays for people, but it's 3:30. Anyway, I don't have anybody Friday. We'll see what we're doing. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least 4 co-hosts, 3 nights each, or 3 topics each. And I play a game, and when I win or lose, we move on to the next one. So what I've enjoyed doing now is tallying up people's scores.
For wins versus losses.
So if I win or lose, I can associate it to my co-host.
Yes.
And give them credit or blame because it's not my fault that I'm losing.
So when we played on Monday night, when you played and I was with you on Monday night, I joined you for 2 games.
Yeah.
The first, won. The second, you weren't even allowed to play your main character or your secondary character. You had to play some 75,000 point Karthus character, and you still won.
And so Mark is 2-0 right now. I'm 2-0 with Mark. Alex is 1-2.
Right. So I'm at 100%.
Jeremy is 2-1.
Help me with, because I'm not a sports person. So when you say 2-1, he lost 2 and won 1?
No. The first one is always the win. So you're 2-0, 2 wins, no losses. Alex is 1 win, 2 losses.
Wow, 33%. Okay.
And Jeremy is flipped, 2 wins, 1 loss.
66%.
Yeah.
Wow. So can I tell you that I checked out? Obviously, was a part of our conversation. It was delightful. It was brilliant. It was fun. It was groundbreaking, essentially, because it was the pilot laying the groundwork for this. I checked out.
Wow!
I checked out yours and
who is this Mark Jager? Wow!
I checked out yours and Alex because I'm like, oh, he's because you text me, you're like, I'm with Alex right now. So I jump on, and Alex is like this. For anyone who's listening, he's just like almost in tears. Camera's like, he's so serious. He's so dour. I'm like, what is Evan? What is happening right now? Like, what is Evan doing to Alex right now? This is supposed to be fun. And I was like, whew. And then I checked out yours and Jeremy.
Wait, what was I doing to Alex? I wasn't doing anything to Alex. It wasn't about him.
He's standing outside of TDS and he looks like he's about to cry. Like, he looked so serious. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be fun? And then Jeremy brought some great answers, but
he really did. Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think I'm a lot more fun.
Wow.
So I was looking at my competition here.
Now to tear a strip off of our Superman Mark, we've been doing a lot of episodes together. That was Alex's and Jeremy's first time doing something with me. For Jeremy ever, and for Alex in years. So
Jeremy doesn't like to go on social. And so when I came in, first of all, I was really impressed with how he handled it, but he answered a whole bunch of questions way better than I would have. He took them different ways than I would have. And I was just like really impressed with that, but I have him on the fun side. So
let's give them time. We're comparing Mark's middle to everybody else's beginning. So we'll see. Sure. Let's see what happens. So Marion is tonight. Yes. And I'm very curious about the rankings and the scoring to see who is at the top. So see how much of a correlation there is between me winning and who my co-hosts are.
I don't think there is any correlation, but
well, I like to feel like there is, because I like to have a little bit of competition.
I think okay. And we can't compete based on performance of your co-host's ability to host.
This is just a fun little metric to add in
okay.
there. So Alex lost the first game when I was playing with him. I lost the game and, helped contribute the blame to Alex. And he's like, hey, you can't blame a loss on me. You're the one playing the game. And then we won the second game and he's like, yes, that's all me. And it's like, wait, no. I can't take credit, because then you're going to blame me for the like, yep, that's right,
that's
Alex.
So funny. So here's something that I honestly, that I feel often. So we do these podcasts, right? I review stuff. We have social media, people doing that stuff. I have to review it as well. Mm-hmm. I know why I'm doing it, but there are times where I go like I should be focusing on sales. I should be focusing on my brand. I should be focusing on the team. I should be focusing on this. I should be focusing on that. And there are times where even, me joining you on Monday night for an hour and 15 minutes to do something that I have a ton of fun doing and I actually really love, and I listen back and it's great. But there are times beforehand where I question, like, is this whole thing just a big distraction from what I should really be doing? Or is it the whole game? And I think people think of social media as a distraction because they're sitting there on their phone and not busy living life, or they're watching Netflix and they're not busy starting their business or whatever it is. But even when you start things, those can be distractions as well eventually, right?
I look at this episode right now. I'm booking in 25-minute chunks. This takes up 55 minutes of my calendar on a Thursday, where we said no to other people to have them on my podcast. My book is launching next week to do this podcast instead.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it until you said it. Like, fun matters.
I look at the stats and I over the last bunch of months, I so appreciate the time you give me and that you help me. You would do this anyway, though, even if it was at 9 p.m. at night on a live chat. But I look at the numbers and go, is this the best use of Evan's time? And I want to keep doing this, so I never pose that question to you. But it could be a giant distraction for you.
But I don't judge it that way. If I'm having fun and I'm liking it, it's the best use of my time. There was never a conversation, Louis, where I looked at my calendar and said, you got Mark Drager penciled in this afternoon. Should we move him to some other day so I can book you on these super important podcast shows?
Hold on. Hold right there. Okay.
No, I got to go. Don't bring Louis in. I got to go.
No. You got 3 minutes still.
No. It's going to take 2
I feel like Louis's got to defend himself.
No, he's fine. He's going to like it.
He's right here.
He's fine. He doesn't need to defend himself. There's no defense. There is no defense.
I may have remembered wrong though. Maybe he didn't say that. Maybe I misinterpreted it. Maybe
next episode.
I feel bad for him.
You can give us the update next episode.
Maybe he didn't say that. Maybe that wasn't his intention.
Mark, you got it. You're the I've got this great memory guy. So Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Well,
that's the episode, guys.
I'm enjoying season 3. I'm enjoying season 3. We're 2 episodes in. We're kind of dancing around the topics a little bit, but at the same time, it's giving us the fodder we need for Evan to just continue to help me grow without beating me up quite so much.
All right. Here we go. Thank you for listening, guys. If you want to know why you're not starting and how to get the momentum and energy to do it, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there. We talk about, we listened to a whole bunch of Mark going in circles.
What? Did we?